Today we can discuss one of the most important topics related to interviews, that why you should be prepared for the interviews. Before we get into that, I would like to present a brief introduction about myself. I'm Ron Ray. One of my primary skill set and passion is training people to present themselves successfully and professionally for job interviews. I can pretty much prepare any person for any particular job role in any industry. I have trained people from around the globe in one-to-one interview sessions, helping them prepare their interview Bibles, which becomes a professional tool for them over their lifetime. I have trained 4,100 plus resources in developing exceptional interview skills, and I think this could be achieved by any person by following my principal guidelines. Now let's discuss about why one should be prepared for an interview. I'd rather say why you should be prepared for the interview. Let's start with pretty much any part of the world. Economic conditions are already tough. So if you landed if you landed an interview opportunity, that means you worked hard, either through a recruitment company or working directly with an organization, going through processes and landing an interview opportunity. So that hard work shows that you need to now move to the next step, which is preparing hard for the interview as well. A lot of people do not put enough focus and time into preparing themselves for the interviews. That is why it is very important you should be prepared for the interviews. The many opportunities in today's world get filled internally all through references. So that those candidates are going to be fighting for that particular interview opportunity as well against you. So you need to be better prepared against themselves, because they already have a head start in terms of they already have enough knowledge about the company. They have worked with them, they understand the structure, they understand the company culture. So they have a head start on you. That gives you another important reason why you should be prepared for that particular role. You need to understand you're also competing against many of the candidates, and you have no idea about what kind of skill set they're bringing to the table. So this gives you another important reason that you should make your best to prepare yourself for the interview. I'm going to give you another astonishing fact that 8 out of the 10 people, again, 8 out of the 10 people are not prepared for the interviews. Isn't that amazing? That means 80% of the people are not prepared actually for the interviews. Only 20% of the people are prepared for the interview, and so the only thing you need to make sure is you fall in the 20% bracket. How many times you went to an interview and you came out of the interview thinking, oh, you could have done better. You could have answered, or you could have answered particular questions in that way or this way, or you could have had better choice of words. People freeze in the interview. There are lots of words. For example, you cannot use words like, yeah, I understand, you know what I mean, I think, maybe, etc. These kind of words are not professional interview language, or these are not professional business language for the interviews. So you precisely need to know and use specific business language and words. The only way you can do it is by preparing yourself. For example, a lot of times people, or actually I'll say an amount of times people say, I have lots of experience for this particular role, or I have many years of experience for this particular role. Why would you have an open answer where you're not numbering or narrowing down the exact number, that how many years of experience do you have? You're leaving it to the interpretation of by interviewer. Interviewer may think you may have 10 years of experience. They may think you have 6 years of experience, maybe 2 or 4 years of experience, or 2 years of experience. Meanwhile, another candidate comes in and they have 9 years of experience. They precisely mention they have 9 years of experience. Meanwhile, you mentioned you have lots of experience, and the interviewer wrote down maybe you have 4 years of experience. So that is very important and critical, that you use precise language in terms of words and numbers. You need to sound confident and prove that you know what you're talking about. You need to have a flow in the presentation. The only way you can develop the flow in the presentation is by being prepared. You should be at absolute ease when you're talking or presenting yourself. Your body language should display exactly the same. I understand, totally understand, for some people, interview process could be a nerve-wracking process. But you need to understand, even those people for whom this process is nerve-wracking, they can make this process less nerve-wracking by preparing themselves. For example, if it is for them, it's like at a scale of 1 to 10, it's nerve-wracking to them, maybe at a scale of 9. But they, by preparing themselves, can bring that down to 2 to 3. There is always a certain amount of nervousness expected in the interview. But you can only minimize that by being prepared. There's no other way. You cannot falsify it. Let me tell you that. So, preparation is the way to go. If you're prepared, you're not also working hard to remember things. Everything is on your tips. The flow, everything with all answers, they're on your tips and they're just flowing. Another important thing I would like to share with you is that you have 15 minutes to probably an hour depending upon the role you're being interviewed for. So if it's a basic admin role or something, you might be interviewed for 15 minutes. It's a very high profile role, manager to director or VP, you might be interviewed for 45 minutes to an hour. So what you need to understand is you need to make best use of that time. And absolutely you can make best use of time at that time. And that is by being prepared. Do not think for a minute that there's certain things you have mentioned in your profile, they're all there on the resume. You do not need to talk about it. You do not need to present themselves. So you need to speak or talk only about those items what are being asked to you. No. You are supposed to present over and above also, which can bring an exceptional or more value to your answers or the skills which company is looking for. The only way you can do it, again, being prepared. Do not think that all the items are on your resume and the interviewer might have seen it. I'll give you an example. Why they would not have seen it. Interviewer might have screened 20 to 30 resumes in order to shortlist 4 to 5 for the interview. So you should be lucky if they remember even few things on your resume. Because they have scanned so many resumes, they do not really remember which one is which one is who. So the only focus time you have with them is that interview. So if you have their total attention for that particular time, you need to deliver best as well. And the only way you can, again, as said, you can do it by preparing yourself. And they're totally prepared at that time on you, making notes about you, and that is the information which is going to make this difference when they're going to decide on which candidate should be selected for the role. By being prepared, one can answer 90% of the questions more accurately. That's a great success rate. So you're left with only 10% of the questions. So on the rest of the 10% of the questions, even if you respond or your responses are average, your overall average for succeeding for the interview is great. So these are all the important reasons why you should be absolutely prepared for the interview when you walk into there. I globally provide one-to-one training sessions to individuals in developing their professional and exceptional interview skills and help them also develop their interview Bible, which becomes a great professional tool for them over their lifetime. And I strongly feel this could be achieved by anyone by following my guidelines. For other important related topics to interview preparations, feel free to watch my other video presentations or visit my website at ronrai.com. Thank you very much. Let me know if you would like to develop your interview Bible. I would be greatly able to help by providing one-to-one interview training session with you. Thank you very much.